Welcome to another segment with Dave and myself, and today we are going to talk about copper power. In my humble opinion, again this is my opinion, I think colloidal copper is superior to silver on so many different fronts. It's a better viricide, antiviricide. I think it's a better antibacterial. It kills mold, kills algae. Easy to make. You don't need a $5,000 million machine to zap some metal to create a component. And okay, what we're doing here so far, basically we're making different forms of copper. This is a copper with an aspirin. They basically put some copper wire in there, put some aspirin, about 2 or 3 grams of aspirin, boil it up. Now you gotta let that boil for quite some time because that'll turn like a bluish hue colored, okay? And it'll dissolve the aspirin. And what you get out of that is called copper salicylic acid or copper salicate. It is by far, pound for pound, one of the best analgesics ever. You can take it orally. This is another way of doing it, just mixing colloidal copper with aspirin, shake her up. Use 1/4 teaspoon of this. Kills a lot of pain, especially for those with rheumatoid arthritis. We did one with the electrolyte formula. It has copper and aspirin in it with the chlorophyll and the salicylic acid. It works for a lot of people. We had a lot of people use this who had rheumatoid arthritis, 3 months, all gone. No, all gone. What's happening is the copper protects the elasticity of the tissue, and what happens as you get older or as you get loaded with nanoparticles, it causes damage to the cells, causes damage to the tissue, and also there's a shrinkage. Copper keeps everything pliable. Without copper, your brain cannot regenerate. Without copper, you cannot assimilate iron. Without copper, you cannot have a healthy immune system. Okay, without copper, you cannot produce SOD. So anybody today that will tell you not to use copper is an idiot. Someone says, well, it'll cause plaque in the brain. That is so out to lunch and so erroneous. That was just as bad as saying that you're getting too much salt in your diet. Way too much salt. Because salt detoxifies the brain. One of the things that salt does. It stabilizes blood pressure, not increases it. The only time you have an increase or fluctuation in blood pressure is because you don't have the proper potassium-sodium ratio. Okay? Blood pressure issues, unless you're past 200, you don't have a problem. If you're in that ballpark, you gotta start thinking about it. If you're between 120 and 140 over 60 to 80, you're fine. Any doctor that will tell you your blood pressure is going to cause you and you're going to die and you're going to die and die. This is the scare bullshit. Don't listen to it. Okay, that's not normal. And as you get older, your blood pressure may go up a little more because you got more crap in you and your kidneys have to work a little harder unless you keep everything clean. So don't get caught up in it. Now, this is a colloidal copper that was made. You can see there's a green hue to it. What I do, this is about 130 parts per million. Now what I do is I reduce this down to about 5 or 10 parts. I don't go much more than that. This is a finished product of it, you can see. Okay, and this is down to about, again, 10 parts per million. What we do basically is the same thing we did with the silver. I add a little citric acid with this because I like copper citrate because I want the copper to go into my tissues. You can do it this way as well for aspirin. You can also do it this way for vitamin C to produce a copper ascorbate. Now how you do this is first you extract the copper, and then once it's cooled off, add the vitamin C, dissolve it, mix it together, let it sit for a day, take out the copper, you have copper ascorbate. Okay, now, I've often said that the medical field has not cured anything since the Second World War. Someone says, well, they cured polio. They never cured polio. They always had a cure for polio, just like they've always had a cure for Ebola. Okay, what cures Ebola? Selenium. That's what cures it. So all those of you on the islands, you know, those of you with the suntan, you know, in Africa and Trinidad and Jamaica and the Bahamas, selenium is your buddy. Okay, selenium. And you need approximately 2 milligrams. If you have this, you need about 2 milligrams a day or more. Okay, in divided doses. And if you're at a point where you're incapacitated, then you need to do it intravenously. That's the research back done in 1995. All of a sudden we don't have a cure for Ebola? Really? Did we forget something? Polio was always treated with copper aspirin or copper salicylate, copper ascorbate, or copper citrate. Cured and killed polio. So we never had a need for vaccines. But my generation, those of you who are half a century old and getting older, our generation was the prototype. They used us as guinea pigs. They pumped dead pathogens in our body, and they delivered them with aluminum and mercury and phosphorus, because these will all penetrate the cells for better, deeper penetration. And it didn't cure nothing. It didn't protect us from nothing. All it did was pollute us. That's why a lot of us today in this part, my generation, are starting to break down. Okay, that's why. So, because of this crap, and over the years, we got booster shots. Remember that? You went to school, you need a booster. You know, and your arm fell off, and you had to get the glue and everything. So, you know, you were the prototype. Okay, so copper. Let me talk about copper. Okay, let's do something first about copper. Okay, we're boiling this with aspirin. Okay, now this will take approximately 6 to 10 hours to really get done. So what you do is you keep adding water to your pot, not to the container, but to the pot. Do not boil the copper in a metal because it's going to absorb. Put it in a glass. This is like a Bain-Marie thing, okay? Add about 2 grams of aspirin. Where's my thing? Oh, here we go. Oh, we're still on this one. That's from the last show. Moving on. This thing's alive. It keeps moving.
It's that smart stand.
Smart stand. It wants to dance. I don't know how to dance. So.
You don't know how to dance?
No, I never.
Oh, Tony.
That's one of those things I never. I mean, I never could understand why people shake their body the way they do. And I thought it doesn't fall apart. But anyway, it you know, they get in there and I'm like, okay, aliens. Maybe that's better. Hold on. Hey. Now, okay, 2 grams of aspirin. Now, pure. What I mean by pure is no shit in it.
I think that's generally what's understood as pure, but...
Well, no, see, people don't get shit, you know, they don't understand the term shit here, and I'm going to explain shit, okay, S-H-I-T here, let me explain shit. Shit equals...
Capitalized, too.
Yeah, shit. It equals propylene glycol. This is shit, okay, yeah. Aluminum. This equates to this. Yellow, number 5 and 6. Okay, polymer.
So aspirin should be the only ingredient in aspirin.
Or starch.
Or starch.
Starch and aspirin. That's it. Now, if this is in your aspirin, you are literally eating shit. And I'm being very salt of the earth here because on purpose. I don't want you sitting there with this comfort zone thinking, oh, that can't be so bad. What part of aluminum is any good? And how many of you are asthmatic? Yellow number 5 and 6 can trigger an asthma attack. Oh, and then we got salicylic acid, which shoots through you like lightning. Now, if you get some of the products that have a caffeine component with the aspirin, okay, and it's got this in it, it's a delivery method. And what does propylene glycol do? It causes a lot of issues with, you know, cellular damage along the spine even. It shouldn't even be in there, for crying out loud. Or propylene ethylene glycol, I'm not going to get into it. But it should have nothing but pure. And where do you buy the pure stuff? Go to the places that supply the farmers. Or go on eBay or Amazon, get the real deal. Get the real powder.
What do the pharmacists or whoever say, like when someone asks, why is this in here? What would be... Cause
it's a preserving agent. It's a binding agent.
Right, because that's what I heard from a pharmacist before, was that it's like, it's to keep the consistency. Don't worry about it. That's all it's used for. You know, it's harmless. You
know, it's funny. They say that mercury is dangerous, and it accumulates in the body because every time and then when you talk to some of these medical people, well, there's more mercury in fish than there is in the vaccine. The point is, you're putting mercury in the body, and it's toxic. You know, You go on an MSDS and look up mercury for toxicity for the human body. There's no safe level of it, you know. You're buying fish oil products. Oh, it's double distilled. In other words, they distilled the fish oil. So that means they heated the bloody thing. So now it's an omega-3. You can't take the heat, so it's oxidized. I have never tasted one omega-3 product in the market that had any flavor to it. It all tasted like dead shit, honestly. It just tasted rancid. Like, who would put this in their mouth? I mean, really? We'll get some walnut oil. A lot safer. Anyway, a lot more alive, you know. So when you're talking, this is what's in, and then they tell you to take 80 milligrams of aspirin a day. Wow. You think maybe there might be something going on in the system here? I don't know. Because this goes into the liver and like aluminum bypasses the blood-brain barrier. Bing, gets in. You know, gets into the respiratory issue and I can't breathe. You know, then you got to get your little puffer out. Again, another thing designed. You normally can breathe with your lungs, the air in, carbon out kind of thing, and now you need a puffer to breathe. So this is what's going on here. So pure, 2 grams. Okay. Put in about 8 ounces to 9 ounces of distilled or RO water. So now people can understand us speaking Canadian. Because I get Europeans say, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you're speaking Canadian anyhow. I didn't get that from the United States. You're speaking Canadian, I don't know what the hell you're saying. Okay, this is what you do. And now you put your aspirin, 2 grams, with 8 or 9 ounces of water in a container, and you do your Bain Marie, like I said, 6 to 10 hours, and it will go green on you. Okay, first it'll lighten up, and then it'll go green. Like this, it'll have a lightly green. I don't think we're going to be able to get that, Dave. It's just...
at some angles you can kind of...
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So, then what I do is this is basically a colloidal copper. And I added citric acid to it, so basically it's a copper citrate. And this is what I get it down to about 10 parts. I keep diluting it down until I get it down to 10 parts. Now, you can also take simply a colloidal copper and aspirin and mix it up. Okay. And for those of you who are suffering some severe pain on the joints, so if you're suffering severe pain because you've been afflicted with something that's trying to assimilate you, you know, nano poisoning, nano biofilm poisoning, it's self-replicating. Take that. This is basically colloidal copper with aspirin. Just mix them together. Basically, take it, rub it, put it on. Especially if you've had an outbreak or a lesion. Oh, perfect. Now I'm going to show you guys something. It's going to be kind of crude. For those of you who are having outbreaks with again, more gallons. What you can do, if you got a scope, take it and squeeze out whatever is coming out. Then take some tape. I'll show you what to do here. Oh, see, I'm shedding blood. Take some tape. Let's say you squeezed out something on this area. Take some tape, put it on like that. Okay, rub it on, let it sit for a minute, peel it off. I can't peel it off. Okay, and then flip it over on a piece of white paper or something that you can see with a scope. When you look at it, you are going to see particles come out. Wires, threads, clear crystalline material, red jasper-like looking material, copper-like looking material, almost like a malachite color. You might see red threads, lavender threads. You might see thick wires. You might see what looks like an amber plastic. This will give you an idea of what's going on the skin. So again, for those of you who think that the chemtrails is, this is a figment of our imagination, this will not lie to you. So even if you don't have the 60x Ocular, put this under a microscope, you'll see what's coming out of you. Okay, so this can help heal some of the infections that are coming out. This is one of the best things I've ever seen, really, from another era of time. Another era of time that worked and healed, cured, fixed, repaired, regenerated the body. So all this bullshit about copper being dangerous, I am taking 10 times the amount higher than what I'm supposed to be taking, and I've not seen one side effect, not one. And I'm also combining it with a garlic extract, which is the sulfur, to even increase the effect in the delivery method more. All right, let's read about copper salicylate. This is a simple little thing here. Okay. Copper is an essential trace mineral. Okay, won't get it. However, in organic form, as chelates or copper complexes, is excellent for reducing inflammation, strengthening connective tissue, restoring hair color, and the oxidative energy metabolism, as well as fighting parasites and cancer, and may sometimes improve brain and liver functions. Ooh, wow, that's amazing. What do you think? One mineral does all that. Copper. So you're gonna say, what did they say can cause? The only thing it's going to cause is a healthy body, and the medical field doesn't want this. See, when I hear doctors getting into this, into the alternatives, they make me cringe, because a lot of these doctors know that you are ignorant of a lot of facts, and they present a lot of half-truths, and then they sell you a lot of bullshit, and you buy these expensive supplements that are loaded with all kinds of crap, and then you contact me and say, Tony, is this safe? And I read the thing. I said, did you not see the soy, the artificial flavoring, the aluminum, the... I didn't even see that. Where'd you find it? Read the label. Okay. They will reportedly prefer to... Okay. Oh, when animals go out to drink water, if it's running from a copper pipe, they will go drink the water from the copper pipe. Primarily because they know that the copper will protect them from parasites and worms. Okay, mold, algae. Ooh, copper does all this. Copper serum levels are elevated up the threshold above normal with inflammation and with many chronic infection diseases. Apparently because the body mobilizes all tissue stores of copper to fight the condition. During the remission, the copper levels return back to normal. So now it's basically saying you don't have enough copper to do what is required. So the body's trying to pull it from everywhere. That's why you have the problems. Okay. The most effective anti-inflammatory agent are copper complexes. And it's true. When you combine copper with aspirin, and everyone says, well, aspirin is a medical thing. It is one of the few things that has come out in the medical field that actually works at curing cancers. 8 different types. I don't have a problem with aspirin. I got a friend of mine who's a chemist. He says, oh, aspirin, no. And this is one time we're on the opposite side of the fence on this one. Usually the chemists are saying, yeah, aspirins are good, but he's saying, no, he doesn't like. I do. I have seen it do a lot of wonderful things. Now, it's got to be clean though, pure, with no shit. Okay? I'm talking very salt of the earth here because you have to get this. You got to wake out of that Walt Disney World. You know, that Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny mentality. Ooh, you know, an organic brain damage that they've done to you. Okay. Copper, commonly, these are related to salicylic acid. In addition, copper ascorbate has strong antiviral properties. Copper salicylate has a better anti-inflammatory effect than cortisone. Cortisone? Ooh, why aren't they giving you copper salicylate instead of cortisone? Cortisone damages the tissue, weakens the ligaments, and they give you that instead of this. Okay, vitamin C with lysine regenerate the ligaments, heals the body. Copper causes the elasticity to be there, so does vitamin C. It heals the body. Cortisol. Okay, go get your daily cortisol. Oh, and then you wonder why your elbow's dead in about 10 years. Okay. In addition, it has also good anti-cancer, anti-tremor, anti-convulsive properties, suitable for treatment of epilepsy and possible Parkinson's disease. There's actually even a connection to Parkinson's disease may be related to a copper deficiency. Isn't that interesting? Children with severe copper deficiency constantly have convulsive seizures. Okay, those of you with that Tourette syndrome, you might want to consider adding a little copper to your child's diet. Another feature of severe copper deficiency is degeneration of the central nervous system. There are at least 6 important copper-dependent enzymes in the brain. One of these is required for the conversion of tyrosine into dopamine. How many of you are feeling a little depressed today? Are you feeling a little anxious? Dave is still on his knees praying to God, instruction manual. Please. See, no copper. Dave was, you know.
It's not fair. We recorded this all on the same day. By next time might be different. A couple weeks. I might have downloaded it by then. Yeah. Received something.
Then it'll be in a different language. What the hell? I can't read this.
Yeah.
This is Godese. I don't understand. Send the instructions on how to interpret. Translate. Send the translator.
Give me the Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, send the translator. How the hell do you read this? And the kid's still not sleeping. Oh, anyway.
Still waiting on the manual for my wife. I'm just kidding.
She watched these things.
I should probably erase that.
Dave, there is no manual. Someone sent me a video one time of a manual for women. You know how thick the book was? You know, imagine a filing cabinet. That's how thick it was. Even God can't get through all that, you know. They made this.
Oh, man.
You can just see it now. The woman say, "What are you talking about? You guys are crazy. You drove us that way." It's genetics. Remember the thing with the garden? Adam was dumb. You gave him the fruit. There he is. Nothing's changed. I'm sure I'm going to hear some shit about that one. What do you mean?
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm staying quiet on that one.
Oh, you don't want to start with the manual. Please, God. Don't understand it. I know you don't either, but hell, help me out here. An experienced copper cells have prevented chemically induced skin cancers. Ooh. Now we have something for skin cancer. What do? We get a little aspirin. Aspirin itself will kill it anyhow. And you mix it with a little copper. And what do? You spread it on the skin. See what happens. See, there's always been a cure for cancer. This is bullshit about cancer not being curable. The boogeyman. Ooh, the boogeyman. Okay. Don't fall for these things. All right. This is why, you know, even biblically it says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman needed not be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth." Now, people refer that to the Bible as the word of truth, but the truth is universal, and that means understanding what is real, what is there, the reality. You know, not the marketing reality, the real reality, what really works, what is really there. Study, you know, work at it, you know, trial and error. It's the only way you're going to learn. All right. In experiments, copper cells have prevented chemically induced skin cancers. Furthermore, a single application resulted in a 55% reduction in experimental animal tumors in 20 weeks. Wow, it's anti-tumor. Woo! You can't, really? Copper does all that? You know, and then they're running around saying, "You need nano. Copper." You know. So again, those of you who are poor and destituted, don't have money, showing you how to do it. Okay, we're going to show you this too. This is really easy. Buy a transformer. Here you got a computer one, and what you do, I'm going to do it here now. We'll do it real quick. I'll take a break from this. Everyone wants to, you know, see stuff and watch me blow things up, nice stuff, kind of thing. All right.
So I'm keeping my distance.
Why? God didn't send you a manual. All right. Doesn't matter how much water you put in. Play with it. Now. Dun, ta-da. All right. This is copper wires, a 24 gauge, pure copper. You can buy this almost anywhere. You know, do some hunting around. Copper. Come on, get over here. Now, I do it. There's more than one way of doing this, so don't get caught up on, you know, this. All I'm doing is taking copper, putting it in there.
Is the twisting necessary?
No, you don't have to. I do it.
Okay, just to set it up.
Yeah.
All right.
So. Da-da-da.
You're just creating leads to go into the water.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm doing. And what I'll do even is I'll put this so that I'll even bend it a little bit like that.
Are we going to see anything from it?
Aliens. Lots of aliens. They'll come through the water. Yeah, teleportation device.
Let's move this here.
Okay, so anyway. I did that backwards. I did it backwards. Okay. So. Now. You pour a little citric acid in there, and all you need is just a pinch. You can take a measurement of it. I usually take a measurement before and after. So I'll put it in there, and just a little sprinkle. Not much. Basically, we're going to make a copper citrate. And what does copper citrate do, or citric acid does? It goes into the tissue. It's part of the Krebs cycle. So I want this to get into the tissue to help, again, even flush out some of these things that are trying to assimilate my body. I did not give them permission to come into my body either. So this is another thing that really annoys me, just a wee bit. Now, take a TDS. It's a different one than the last one. See, hit the on button. So it says 000, put it in. It's saying, okay, so we're at 45 parts per million. So keep that, so write that down somewhere so you don't forget. So you have it under, so then you know how much the citric acid has polluted your water. Okay, then
this for a second.
flip it on. Okay, so that goes. Let go of that. Now you gotta make sure they don't make contact. Okay, that might work too. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work good. Hold that pose. Get over here. Ah! I knew what I was doing. Probably should go.
So you're just trying to make sure they're not going to touch.
That's right.
In the water
Yeah.
when there's electricity being passed through them.
I don't want to short out my. Come here, you little bugger.
I guess, yeah. Well, what does happen if they touch? You short out the electrical.
Yeah, short out. Like nothing's going to happen. Well, you might get transported to the 9th dimension or something, but nothing unusual.
Nothing. Yeah.
Now.
So that looks like it's touching from here, but
Yeah. No, it's not.
no, I know. But from the side, it looks like they're intercrossed, but they're okay.
And eventually, you'll start seeing it bubble, and it'll start turning green and hazy. Now, this is another way of doing it. Okay, I'm showing you different methods of doing this, so that if you're stuck for cash, you are not going to. It'll take about a minute, David, and you'll start seeing the bubbles form.
Okay, we'll come back to it then.
Yeah. So we're opening a dimensional portal called health, and it will release into the earth, and all of you will get healthy. See, I can be sci-fi.
Yeah. You're actually from the future.
I'm actually from the future, yeah. And where I come from, it doesn't look too good unless we start seeing some changes. There ain't gonna be an Earth. That little thing up above, this shit here, I do not consent. Remember, we didn't consent. I didn't ask them to put this stuff in the air. And remember that video, chemtrails, a secret war. Watch it. Get enlightened, see what's going on, and share that information. Download the thing and share it to your network. Hey, did you know they're dumping iron in the water? Why are they dumping iron in the water? And everyone's saying, Fukushima, Fuka, hey. And they're dumping iron right along the coastlines of the United States, and they got all these dead fish, and then they're saying, well, we got radiation. Well, what the hell is coming down on you? Radiation, not from Fuka. Fuka's screwed. They're screwed. We're screwed because of something else. And so watch the video. It'll enlighten you. All right. Let's see here. Okay, that's that. All right, now. So we're multiplexing here, baby. We see this is a lab.
Oh yeah.
See, we're doing it. All right.
We're cooking.
Let's see here. See, it has been shown that copper is more important to prevent cancer or regrowth of tumors and possibly with dormant tumors. If growing tumors are present, then copper is needed to form new blood vessels. Taking high amounts of zinc creates a relative copper deficiency and helps prevent the formation of new blood cells. Copper cell sites have a similar action as superoxide dismutase. In other words, produces SOD, which can help, again, visual lungs as well. It also shows that there are no chronic degenerative diseases in man known to result from non-industrial exposure to copper. In other words, copper doesn't cause the issues. The medical field does. By making statements that everything that ever worked for us that helped us heal, iodine's a poison. Notice it's got all kinds of poison. Shouldn't take it. And turpentine. Oh, that's you're putting turpentine inside you? Oh, we've been doing it since the Babylonian days. There you go, Dave. Bubble. She's starting to pop.
Toilet trouble?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just on the copper itself.
Okay?
See if I can get in there.
So, okay, Dr. Werner Angerder, head of medicine in the University of Kiel, successfully used copper salicites for over 20 years with more than 1,100 patients with rheumatoid arthritis and other inflammatory conditions. Of 620 patients with rheumatoid arthritis, 65% became symptom-free. Ooh. Is that a cure? Can't call it a cure. If I call it a cure, then for some reason it becomes medicinal. And I don't know why. I still don't understand how that works, because I have not seen one medicine that cures anything. But somehow if it cures something, it becomes a medicinal. You know, shouldn't eat oranges, because if you eat about 50 of them a day, you have a high dose of vitamin C to keep them sturdy. But anyhow. Where else here? It says, with acute rheumatic fever, 100% became symptom-free. Can you get, you are 100% symptom-free using copper, not nano silver. Nano. Get some more of that, get brain damage. Copper, 100%. Okay. Also, neuromuscular problems such as sciatica, and a lot of you contact me about this, neuralgia, cervical, spine, shoulder problems responded very well. Even short-term treatment of rheumatoid arthritis result in long-term remission and improvements. I have seen this just with the other formula, the electrolyte formula. So these complexes are 5 to 8 times more effective than aspirin, but less toxic. Ooh. Copper, baby. Oh, simple. See, God gave us something so simple to cure so many things, and then you got, you know what it is? Lord giveth, and the medical field take it away.
It's somewhere written in the scriptures.
In the book of second book of Tony. Because I don't want to add to God's word, because he'll whip my ass for that one. No, so no, we're not going to do that. Second book of Tony. You know, the Lord giveth, and the medical field take it away.
Oh man.
First book of Tony was God made coffee, and it was really good. Third book of Tony is unpasteurized milk rocks. Everybody should be on it. Anyway,
here it is.
It's another book for another day. So anyway, the therapeutic index, the margin between effectiveness and toxic effects, has been stated as being significantly greater than for any other anti-inflammatory drug. The copper complexes have a better ulcer healing. Whoa, heals ulcers too? Wow. What are they giving you? Aluminum! Pepto-Bismol!
Oh yeah? Aluminum's in Pepto-Bismol?
Yeah, I go take a look sometime.
Jeez.
So, yeah, can you dig it? That's for my generation. Can you dig it? See, I'm trying to cross that generational boundary thing. You know, I'm trying to get the young people. Because the young people, they say everything. They're saying that good things are wicked. That's wicked. What's so bad about it? No, it means it's good. Well, why don't you just say it's good?
I did. I said it's wicked.
It's wicked, yeah. That's brain damage. See, that's called what do they call it? The Orwellian thing? Reverse speech. See, getting everybody to say stupid shit that doesn't mean what it means. It's wicked means something's really bad, but you know, something's beyond evil, but it's good now. So we're saying that something that's wicked is evilly good, that the good is evil. Really? Hey, brain damage. Brain damage.
My thing was, my generation was that's sick.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's
sick is usually meaning that somebody has an illness. You know,
it took me a while to
get back to normal.
Yeah.
See, I bet you were praying for a manual for that one too. God, I don't know how to speak English. Can you give me the real meaning of what these words are supposed to mean? I'm still waiting for the download on that one too. So am I. Anyway. However, okay, let's see. Okay, how to make this is, again, we showed you how to make it. You get some copper wire, put about 2 grams or 3 grams, boil the surrounding it. Do not put it in a pot. Let me repeat, do not put it in a pot. Put it in glass, okay? Glass is where it's at, not plastic, not metal, glass. I got this old ancient thing that was made back in the 40s. I really like these the way they did. You know, this thing here, I didn't bring the lid, but the mason jars back in the day did not use metal. They put glass on top to seal whatever, and then they screwed it with a metal lid. It wasn't a metal covering, it was glass. I'm thinking, that rocks. See, we become stupid.
That's sick.
That's
That's wicked.
that is wicked. You take a mason jar today, and it's got metal and rubber, and then these guys, see, they were smarter back then. And this is the science that we should be using, not this shit today that we're, here, have a little metal, some rubber, and we'll seal up your food. Really? I like glass on glass. Anyway. Okay, and you'll see it change color, but we probably won't see it today, but it'll give you an idea what other ones we did. All right. Now, if you can take this orally, you can take it internally. If you are, some of you will be afraid, and I know you will be afraid, and I understand the fear factor because you've been told so much shit you don't know what to believe, and I get that. It took me a long time to get this, but I get it. I really do. After watching some of these gurus and some of these doctors on the media, I can see why you're having a problem with a lot of things in regard to this. So, if you are afraid, then try it topically. Your body will absorb it gradually and you'll be able to utilize it either way. And if you want to amp it up a little bit, put a drop or two of DMSO with it. Okay, and away you go. So, again, it won't hurt you. So we're giving you things that up the way, if they decide to take away your right to access for health, you can make your own. See, in my little laboratory, in my kitchen, or in my little bunker here. Little bunker. Okay, we are having end time stuff, they have martial laws and all, and we're all living in bunkers, and we're creating all these things to help our bodies stay healthy. Yes. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so again, and if you are using copper, you're using a lot of this, incorporate more zinc, at least 30 milligrams to 60 milligrams of zinc citrate or zinc mixed with sulfur or phosphorus so that you maintain the proper ratios, okay? And that's all you're going to need to do. Let's see, what else? All right, let's talk about the benefits of copper. A deficiency in copper can result in gray hair. As you can see, my hair has some gray, and that's from talking to 300 people a day. Some of the things some of you tell me. Some things that amaze me. Some things kind of piss me off sometimes, but some things amaze me. Not that you guys piss me off, it's what's been done to you that pisses me off. How you've been sabotaged. Okay? Anyway, it has been claimed that colloidal copper has been able to return gray hair back to its natural color. It has improved the elastic fiber in the skin, increasing skin flexibility. Some of you are getting this wrinkly, damaged skin throughout the body. You think, well, I must be getting old. No, you're getting glowing copper. So getting old is a state of TV. You watch TV and they show these people going gray hair and white and all this and everything, and that's television. We should be living to about 120 years old, which, by the way, our life expectancy in North America has been reduced from almost 80 years old, 79 years old, to 69.9.
That's official now?
That's full official now. Well, how can it not? How can it?
Oh, no. I'm just wondering if did they make that announcement, or is that just?
It came out about 5 weeks ago, that our life expectancy is actually going down now. Well, you got this fumigating you like a cockroach. They're poisoning you like a cockroach. They're pulsing. There used to be a device back in the 80s, where you put this thing in your room and it would put out a frequency. So if you had any ants, cockroaches, or any mice even, the frequency would irritate them to a point where it would drive them out of the house. Now you happen to be the mouse, cockroach, or ant on the planet that they're pulsing. And this is how it's getting it. Again, when you got a metallic component in your cells, these frequencies have someplace to go to. Okay, it's like a microwave with aluminum. Put a little aluminum in your meat and watch what happens.
So receptors.
Yeah, we're transceivers now. Okay, we're putting it out and we're taking it in. So, copper can heal some things here. All right. Old medicinal books state that colloidal copper is effective against parasites, which it is, strengthens the blood, cleans the arteries. In addition, it is reported to be effective against aneurysms and preventing strokes. And they don't want you to have this. I wonder why. We need you brain dead. Can't be smart. Can't tell everybody what has happened in the past. We can't talk about freedoms that we once had. We can't talk about what it was like to be living in another era of time. That history has to be wiped. All right, as a result of the colloidal breakthrough, the particle elements are smaller than membranes and thus move freely throughout the entire system, supplying the special needs that only elemental copper can provide. Without toxic buildup. We have observed that colloidal copper gently massaged into bruised and painful skin around sore muscles and joints will relieve the pain and symptoms for initially 4 hours in the first application first day, and thereafter the symptoms will decrease daily. So those of you who are suffering some severe pain from the Morgellons or the nano poisoning that you're dealing with, rub this stuff on topically. It will give you relief. When I'm pulling out these 2-inch threads of nanofibers and metal and wires coming out of my skin, I pull them out. They have a tendency to want to infect my skin. So since I've been using this, I noticed a big change in my complexion and other parts of me. I'm having, my system's constantly being attacked one way or another. Apparently I must have pissed in somebody's cornflakes. All right. And therefore the symptoms will decrease. Okay, says our observations have showed a marked clarity of thinking when the colloidal copper has taken orally under the tongue, speeds up the synapses in the brain. Copper was reported as the missing link in calcified bones, people who had suffered osteoporosis. Can you imagine that? Imbalance of minerals can create this problem. Copper! It's where it's at. It's what you need. Anybody that will tell you today not to use, unless you have the copper imbalance, that's probably indicating that you've got something going on in the body, and again the copper is pooling. The medical system doesn't know nothing. They have an idea of the biomechanics of the body, but they don't really understand how it works when the body is being traumatized. They will give you things that will deal with symptomologies, but rather than the cause. Why is the copper pooling? What's going on that causes the body to pull the copper in that area? What's causing the body to pull the zinc in the area? What's causing the body to be using the vitamin C? Or why is the white blood cells going up? They don't deal with that. Okay? They deal with, oh, you got this symptom. Here's a pill. Alrighty, now let's get back to here. Still bubbling?
A little bit, yeah.
You're probably going to enough that salt gas. But that will
So
take,
what are you waiting for it to stop bubbling?
No, it'll bubble until I pull
Until you stop it, okay.
Let this run for about 6 or 7 hours, or even overnight. It'll become green and huey. Okay, now if you want to, you can dilute it. And how you dilute it, to get it down to 10 parts, take your reading, deduct your salt particles, that's what will give you your ppm for the copper. What I do is I'll add maybe 1 ounce of water, 1 ounce of the solution, I'll add water to it till I get it down to 10 parts, because it'll be about volume. And then I'll use it, I'll take it orally. And now we'll give you about 5 milligrams per serving when you take it. A teaspoon will give you about 5 milligrams. So, this, same thing. Okay, when this does get done, it will be a kind of a green, huey, dark huey, whatever. It takes time. I didn't get a sample done, I should have, but I wanted to show you what to do and what to expect, and you'll start seeing things. So I know I'm going to get about 5,000 questions on this one, but this is the one, these are the things that are going to really protect you. Your body needs copper, needs it daily. I don't see anywhere in the anatomical charts where we need silver or gold. We do need a little gold on some levels, and we get that through some of the produce, provided it's still in the ground, and it's in minutia amounts, not nano amounts. So again, there you have it. You know, this is something that you can do, keep you up, keep you going. And for those of you who have issues down anywhere, it can protect. You gotta remember, copper knocks out mold, copper knocks out algae, and a lot of you are having this as well from the things above coming down on you, the things you're eating. Okay. The water supply, the water table has been shown to have Morgellons in it, or nanoparticle poisoning. That's also on my script of the show, so if you look at the January script, you'll find the illustration. The only thing that seems to be pulling it out, and it's only 95%, is reverse osmosis. Distilled water will can carry the nanoparticles in the steam. That's how wonderful this stuff is. So you may have to, if you do distill your water, filter it again. I think that's everything. Is there anything else you want to add? Besides the manuals and the crying out help.
The only question that I had for curiosity was, if you use more copper, put more copper, say in this method, or use say just more copper in here, does that speed the process up?
As far as healing, you mean?
Well, like you said, this will do this for 6 or 7 hours, overnight or whatever. But if you put more copper in, could that technically
you could say,
reduce the time in any way?
Oh yeah, for sure. If we had a stronger
concentration of
amps, this is a 3.4 amp, so we were using 5-6 amps. Yeah, this thing would kind of thing very quickly. If I put a little bit more citric acid in there, again, it's going to give me. It would have sped it up because it breaks it down faster.
I guess I don't recall there being a mention of how much to use of copper to put into here. So how many strands of copper did you put in? Does any of that have any sort of bearing?
No, I just took maybe a foot, wrapped it up. Even a small piece will work. Doesn't have to be. It's a good question because I never even thought about that. The reason I put a lot in there because I figured it would maybe work faster, but it didn't.
So that's exactly what I'm asking.
Yeah, it won't. A small piece, big piece won't matter. Put it in, let it ride, let it do its thing. Just be patient with it. Don't be afraid to do it. Okay, don't be afraid to do it. Do it. Do it. This is something anybody can make. Now, like I said, if you're in a country where you're poor, don't have a lot of money, something you can do. Boiling water, you can all do that. A little aspirin and copper, you got it, okay? Something that fights tumors, right? Something that fights skin cancer, something that fights, rheumatoid arthritis, something that knocks out mold, something that protects your body. There you go. There you go. Okay. You don't listen to dumbasses on this, okay? Don't let the fear equation do it. Try it, test it, see what it works. Don't even listen to me completely. I want you to do your homework. I want you to investigate and evaluate. Okay? Investigate and evaluate. Test it. Try it on a small area. See what you get. Get down your results. Share this information with each other. Okay? Even if you're using the YouTube and you're talking to each other, that's great. Getting some wild and weird, bizarre crap because you got some ideology or philosophy that is contrary to what I'm showing you. I may listen to it. If there's any truth, I'll let it ride. But if there's a lot of bullshit and you're trying to sell a machine or some others, it's gone. I'm not even interested in machines or anything. These are things you can make yourself. And this is what this is all about. It's a hands-on, do it yourself kind of thing. So you're not, first and foremost, enslaved to these marketeers that will lay some bullshit on you. But that's what this is all about. Okay? You're not going to be a slave. You're not going to be dependent on a medical system. You're not going to be dependent on any guru. You're not going to be dependent on me. You're going to do it yourself. As a matter of fact, you bet you guys should be surpassing me. I need a nap. Take over. All right. Well, anything else? We're good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, now that I've confused everybody.
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud. To the next segment from Dave and myself. To your health. See ya.